Hey, welcome back to another episode of Life Between Loads. This was week 8, and I'll tell you, the spin cycle never ends. We've got a mix of canceled classes, my very first comp, patient care finals, and pulling the late night shift. Let's tumble through it together. So Monday started off with a gift from the gods. Our physics teacher was sick, which meant no class. Although I'm pretty sure she's sick every week with the amount of coughing she does through her goddamn lectures. Anyway, I spent the morning kind of chilling, downloaded the week's material, worked out real quick, played with the dog a little bit, made some breakfast for me and the wife, trophy husband type shit. Procedures lecture later in the day, though, was basically a reality check. We went over last week's quiz, and I found out that I can't fucking read. There was 3 questions that I got wrong just because I didn't fully read the question right. So, what the fuck is going on with me? And then we finally got our image analysis grades back from last week during the Sims, and I got an 85, baby. Anything over 75 is basically like finding money in your jeans after throwing them through the wash. You don't question it, you just pocket it and move on. Tuesday was kind of a big day. I met up with mom and her boyfriend before clinicals. We had some breakfast, which was nice. Good to see them. I got to the clinical site like an hour and a half early, so I ended up just parking myself in the cafeteria and studying for the final, which was on Wednesday. So then the shift starts, and again, it was slow. Big shocker. But then it happened. My first comp, which means a chest x-ray all by myself, just like a real tech. Let's fucking go! Honestly, I was walking around like I had just folded a fitted sheet on the first try. Fucking legend status. I was feeling super good about myself, and one of my classmates even knocked out 2 comps that day, so we were both just riding that high for hours. And then, inevitably, the shift died again. The only other exam that I saw was a tib fib that I could only really assist on because I don't know what the hell I'm doing with a tib fib yet. But still, that comp just made my whole fucking day. I was like, I just couldn't get over it. Now, Wednesday was my patient care final. And honestly, I wasn't too nervous about it, but you never know. Sometimes exams feel like pulling out the laundry and then realizing that you left a tissue in your pocket. Total fucking mess. But luckily, this one was smooth. Scored a 92%, grabbed some lunch, and then sat through lectures for the rest of the day. And by sat through lectures, I mean counting down the minutes while pretending to take some notes. Honestly, these PowerPoints are like watching paint dry, but in 4K. Now, Thursday was wild. I get to my clinical shift, and I somehow get roped into spending half of it assisting in CT. Which is cool and all, but since we don't actually know CT yet, my job was basically just playing Uber for these patients. Roll them in, transfer them over, roll them back out, wash, rinse, repeat. 10 times. The second half, I finally got to spend it actually following an x-ray tech, and so by the end of the shift, I ended up logging 10 total CT scans and 8 total x-rays, and 4 of those I got to do under direct supervision. The other 4 I just assisted on because they were all body parts that we haven't practiced yet in school. I swear, by the end of my time at this clinical site, I'm going to be a master at the portable chest x-ray. So I got off from the shift, I didn't get home until midnight, didn't finally crash until 2 a.m. Luckily, I get to sleep in on Fridays because my lab doesn't start until 12:30. And speaking of Friday, I drag myself out of bed, I get some homework done, and then I drive to campus for positioning lab. This week's focus still on the shoulder, the clavicle, and the scapula. Basically, we're just learning all the ways to twist and bend someone until it looks like they came out of a spin cycle. We'll be practicing those ones for the next few weeks before Sims, and then we also found out that ribs are going to be coming up next week too. During Friday's specific lab, I just kind of wasn't in the mood, and I kind of just took a step back and I let the other guys kind of get their practice in. Since we have a few weeks to go over it, I just felt like maybe today I would just observe instead of fully diving in. And then once I got home from lab, I just said, fuck it, no more work. I'm just gonna take the night off. Homework and shit can be the weekend's problem. So Friday night was strictly for me. The wife was working, so I had a Mafia marathon, and I ended up finishing Mafia: The Old Country. Great game, by the way. I highly recommend. But I did learn my lesson the hard way because since I took Friday off, it felt so good and easy to just not do anything on Saturday, which I also didn't do too. So I ended up having to finish my homework and take 2 quizzes on Sunday, so I do not recommend that. Do not do that. So yeah, that was my week 8. Canceled class, my first comp, patient care final, being the CT chauffeur, and learning new positions to break people's shoulders in the lab. Honestly, this was a week full of highs and lows. 1 minute I'm flying high on that chest comp, and then the next I'm stuck on the couch watching Love is Blind for the 5th hour in a row. But fuck man, that's Rad Tech school. Some days you feel like you're fresh out the dryer, warm and toasty, folded up, and other days you're that long lost sock that's stuck to the fitted sheet, just wondering how you got there. Either way, we just keep tumbling forward. Thanks for hanging out for week 8. Stay tuned for next week's recap, where I'll probably be juggling more bullshit and forgetting to shield another patient. I say that as a joke, but I guarantee that's going to happen. Don't tell my clinical instructor, or I will find you. Later. Clean clothes, dirty thoughts. See you next load.